Hi students, today we are going to discuss about optical isomerism. Optical isomers are stereoisomers which possess the ability to rotate the plane of plane polarized light towards right or left. Those substances which rotate the plane of plane polarized light towards right or clockwise direction that are called dextrorotatory. That is denoted by the letter D or plus sign. Those substances which rotate the plane of polarized light towards the left or anti-clockwise direction, that is called levorotatory. That is represented by the letter L or minus sign. So those substances which rotate the plane polarized light towards left or right, that are called optical isomers, and the phenomenon is called optical activity. The optical rotation of different molecules can be measured using the instrument polarimeter. Then those isomers which are related to each other as mirror images are called enantiomers. And those isomers which are not related as mirror images, that are called diastereomers. If a molecule contains an equimolar mixture of this D and L form or plus and minus form, then its net optical rotation is 0, that is it is optically inactive, and that is called a racemic mixture. That is represented by this plus minus sign. So how this optical activity arises in a molecule, or when and how a molecule shows optical activity, that can be explained by taking the structure of these different molecules. So consider different molecules that possess non-superimposable mirror images. So the only condition for show this optical activity is the non-superimposability of mirror images. For example, take a molecule which possesses a carbon, and the 4 valencies are satisfied by 4 different groups A, B, C and D. This molecule does not possess a plane of symmetry because the 4 valencies are satisfied by 4 different groups. Then take a mirror and take the mirror image of this molecule. Its mirror image is this one. Then take the mirror image and put on the surface of the original molecule, then it looks different. So these are non-superimposable mirror images. Non-superimposable mirror images. So this non-superimposability of mirror image, that is the only criterion in order to exhibit this optical activity. So when this non-superimposable mirror images originate, if a molecule possesses an asymmetric carbon or chiral carbon, then that molecule possesses a non-superimposable mirror image. So what is meant by chiral carbon or asymmetric carbon? If a carbon contains, or the 4 valencies are satisfied by 4 different groups, then that carbon atom is a chiral carbon or asymmetric carbon. So this is a chiral carbon or asymmetric carbon. The 4 valencies are satisfied by 4 different groups, and its mirror image is a non-superimposable mirror image. Then we can check the non-superimposability in by taking the case of plane of symmetry also. This molecule does not possess a plane of symmetry, therefore it possesses a non-superimposable mirror image. So that is the only condition in order to exhibit optical activity. So we can see several simple examples for these non-superimposable mirror images. If a man standing in the front of a mirror with both these hands down, that man possesses a plane of symmetry and its mirror image is superimposable. That is a superimposable mirror image. So this is the example for non-superimposable mirror image. Then if that man raises his hand, one of his hands, then standing in front of the mirror, then it becomes a non-superimposable mirror image. So likewise we can see several examples for non-superimposable mirror images. Next we can see the number of optical isomers possible for different molecules. So take the case of a molecule which contain only one asymmetric carbon atom. For example, lactic acid, the simplest molecule. The structure of lactic acid is CH2OH, CHOH, COH, and this is the asymmetric carbon. The four different groups are CH2OH group, hydrogen OH group and COH group. So this is an asymmetric carbon atom. Then take the mirror image of this one. This is the mirror image. Then take that mirror image and that is put it on the surface of this original molecule, then that looks different. Therefore, these are non-superimposable mirror images. Then this molecule exhibit optical activity and that is optically active molecule, and this is the D form or plus lactic acid, and this is the L form or minus lactic acid. This L lactic acid possesses an optical rotation of plus 2.67 degree and L lactic acid possesses a specific rotation of minus 2.67 degree. So these are called enantiomers. So what are enantiomers? Enantiomers are optical isomers which are related each other as mirror images. These are mirror images, non-superimposable mirror images, and they exhibit optical activity, and these are also enantiomers. Then these enantiomers possess same physical properties like melting point, boiling point, refractive index, etc., but they possess entirely different chemical properties. Then you all are familiar with the antihistamine used in daily life, that is cetirizine. It possesses two forms, dextrorotatory or dextrocetirizine and levocetirizine. Then dextrocetirizine is not as much sedative like that of this levorotatory or levocetirizine. So they possess different chemical properties. So these enantiomers possess different chemical properties when they react with optically active molecules and optically inactive molecules. Sometimes one isomer can act as a drug while the other can act as a poison. So entirely different chemical properties. Now next we can see a molecule with a different asymmetric carbon atom, two asymmetric carbon atoms, two with different terminal groups. For example, take the case of 2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid. 2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid. Its structure is (2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid). This is the first carbon, this is the second carbon, this is the third carbon, and this is the fourth carbon. 2,3 2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid. Then the second and third carbon atoms are two asymmetric carbon atoms. Second and third carbon atoms are two asymmetric carbon atoms. Then take the mirror image of this one. CS3, OH, H, OH, H, COH. So these are related as mirror images and these are enantiomers. So this is the first isomer, this is the second isomer. Next we can also write different isomers like this. Take the mirror image of this one. This is the third isomer and this is the fourth isomer. So we can find out the number of optically active isomers for a particular molecule which possesses two asymmetric carbon atom, that is 2 raised to 2, that is equal to 4 isomers. So for 2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid there are 4 isomers are possible, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then these are one pair of enantiomers and these are also another pair of enantiomers. Then take the case of 1 and 3. These are not related as mirror images, therefore they are diastereomers. Then take 1 and 4. They are not related as mirror images, so they are also diastereomers. Then take the case of 2 and 3 and 2 and 4 also, they are also diastereomers and 2 enantiomeric pairs, and totally 4 isomers are optical isomers are possible for 2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid. Next we can see another molecule that is that contain two different asymmetric carbon atom with the same terminal group. For example, take the case of tartaric acid. Structure is COH, CHOH, CHOH, COH. First carbon atom, second carbon atom, third carbon atom and fourth carbon atom. These are two asymmetric carbon atoms. Second and third carbon atoms are asymmetric carbon atoms. Then take the mirror image of this one. So for this tartaric acid, we expect 2 raised to 2, that is equal to a total of 4 isomers. Then we can write the isomers. So take the mirror image of this one. COH, OH, H, then look this molecule. This molecule possesses a plane of symmetry through this plane. For this mirror image also there is a plane of symmetry through this plane. So what happens? The optical rotation due to the first half of the molecule is compensated by the optical rotation of the second half. That is, if we fold this molecule up and down, then what happens? They look alike. Therefore, the optical rotation due to the first half of the molecule is compensated by the optical rotation of the second half of the molecule. Therefore, in effect, they are optically inactive. That form is called a mesoform. So, mesoforms are isomers which are optically inactive due to a plane of symmetry. Then other isomers are Take the mirror image of this one. These are enantiomers. So in the case of tartaric acid, there are only 3 isomers are possible, 1 enantiomeric pairs and 1 mesoform. So like this we can find out the number of optical isomers possible for different molecules by finding the number of asymmetric carbon atoms present in that molecule. Next we can see how we can assign RS notation for these optical isomers. RS notation. So this nomenclature is applied to optical isomers based on a priority sequence. So assigning priority for different groups attached to a asymmetric carbon atom, there are certain rules. So first rule, consider the different groups attached to the asymmetric carbon. Then assign priority for these different groups by considering the directly attached atom to this asymmetric carbon. For example, consider carboxylic acid group and hydroxylic group, OH group and COH group. Then assign first priority for the group that contains an atom with the highest atomic number. So in this COH group and OH group, the atom with the highest atomic number is oxygen compared to carbon. Therefore, oxygen possesses the hydroxyl group possesses the highest priority. Then second rule is, if the directly attached atoms are same, then next consider the next atom. For example, consider carboxylic acid group and aldehyde group, COH and CHO. So in this case, the directly attached atoms are carbon in both the groups, but in carboxylic acid group, the second atom is oxygen and the third also oxygen. But in CHO, the second atom is hydrogen. Therefore, the highest priority is for carboxylic acid group. Then next rule is, if C double bond C and C double bond O are present in that molecule, treat this as C single bond C2 single bonds carbon-carbon bond and single bond carbon-oxygen bonds. Then next rule is, the molecule is viewed in such a way that the least priority group is pointing away from us. Then fifth rule is, assign priority sequence. If the sequence is in the clockwise direction, the notation R is used, and if the sequence is in the anti-clockwise direction, notation S is used. Then last rule, if the least priority group is pointing towards us, then take the opposite of the rotation what we obtained from the front side. So these are the rules for assigning this RS notation. So we can see different examples for this. First, consider a molecule. This is 2,3-dihydroxy propanoic acid. 2,3-dihydroxy propanoic acid, otherwise lactic acid. Then the 4 different groups attached to the asymmetric carbon, this is the asymmetric carbon. The 4 different groups attached to the asymmetric carbon are CH2OH group, COH group, hydrogen and hydroxyl group. Then assign priority according to our rule. Then considering the 4 different groups, the highest priority is for this hydroxyl group, because directly attached atom is oxygen. Here it possesses highest atomic number, therefore highest priority 1. Then consider other groups, COH group and CH2OH group. Then in this case, the directly attached atoms are same in both cases. Then consider the next one. So here 2 oxygen atoms, so here 2 hydrogen atoms. So the second priority is for carboxylic acid group. Then normally third priority for this CH2OH group and the lowest priority for this hydrogen. Then this is the projection formula for this 2,3-dihydroxypropanoic acid. In Fisher projection formula, the horizontal lines represent the groups that are pointing towards us and the vertical line represent the groups that are pointing away from us. Here, the hydrogen, the lowest priority group is pointing away from us. Therefore, assign the priority sequence, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So that is in anti-clockwise direction. Therefore, the notation S. Therefore, this is S,2,3-dihydroxypropanoic acid. Then consider another example. CH2OH, CHOH, COH. This is the asymmetric carbon. Then assign the priority. This is the first priority, this is second priority, this is the third one, and this is the lowest priority according to our rule. Then the priority sequence is 1, 2, 3. So normally S anti-clockwise direction, therefore S notation. But look for the lowest priority that is pointing towards us. Therefore take the opposite of what we obtained from front side. Therefore this is R,2,3-dihydroxypropanoic acid. Then consider another example. A molecule that contains 2 asymmetric carbon atoms. This is the first carbon atom, this is the second carbon, this is the third one, and this is the fourth one. This molecule is 2,3-dihydroxybutanoic acid. The second carbon atom and the third carbon atoms are the asymmetric carbon atoms present in this molecule. Second and third. So first consider the second asymmetric carbon. The different groups attached to this asymmetric carbon are hydrogen, COH group, OH, and consider this as a whole, that is CH3OH. Then assign the priority. This is first priority, therefore oxygen possesses the highest atomic number. Then second priority for this carboxylic acid group. Then third priority CH3CHOH. Then the least priority or lowest priority for hydrogen. So in this case, hydrogen is pointing away from us. Therefore take the sequence 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. This is the sequence that is in the anti-clockwise direction, therefore S configuration. Then take the case of third asymmetric carbon atom. In third asymmetric carbon atom, the different groups are hydroxyl group H, CH3, then CHOH, COH group. So highest priority for this OH, then second priority for this group COH, COHH, then third priority for this and the lowest priority for this one. Then take the sequence 1, 2, 3. So again hydrogen is pointing away from us, therefore S configuration. This is represented as 2S, 3S dihydroxy butanoic acid. So like this, we can assign RS notation for different organic molecules which exhibits optical isomerism. So today we had seen optical isomers, then enantiomers, diastereomers, and how we can find out the number of optical isomers possible for a stereoisomeric molecule, then how we can assign RS notation for these optical isomers by considering the different rules, and we can assign RS notation for these different groups. So find out different more and more examples for this, and examples for this type of molecules, and find out examples for enantiomeric compounds that are highly applicable in our daily life. Thank you.